Hi there, this is Noah Rosenfield, and I am demoing my week 2 WhatsApp clone early submission. So the thing that we've been really focusing on for this week is the AI tool set, or these last couple days, the AI tool set. And the persona that we chose is the busy parent or caregiver. And what this made me think of is my sister and brother-in-law who spend all of their time chauffeuring their kids around to the million different activities that they're all in. And so what that made me think of is that if you're in the car and you're on the go all the time, you need to be hands-free. And that means that you really need an agent that has the ability to a good amount of range, in its ability to properly interpret what you're asking it to do with some pretty subjective context, without having to be overly specific. I want to be able to refer to people by just their first names, and generally have it start to get it right. Without that, which John or which whoever. So, what we've got here, we've got George Washington on the left and John Adams on the right logged in here. I'm going to open up our AI assistant, and here I'm going to ask John if he's watching the game. We're going to send this off. We're using OpenAI to receive the prompts. We're sending a number of tool calls, and we're also using Firebase cloud processing to then, allow the AI to request to work with the data in different ways, get recent contacts, recent conversations, and the user's contact list. So here we have all of our contacts. We've got 5 different potential Johns. We're still working on some of this matching, right? We can see that Andrew Johnson probably shouldn't. He's at the bottom, but this number, this 50% match, that seems a little off. So we're gonna go with John Adams, president number 2, and that's gonna send off, and there we go. So we do still have some just UX issues, and it's going to tell us that there was an error here. Actually, everything executes just fine. And when we go in there, we have our message sent through our AI. And John gets the message. Are you watching the game? Over here on the right, you can see that coming through. And now here on the left, you see our new red UX, the read receipt UX. So you're able to, we now have this avatar with this horizontal line, which is going to track their progress through the conversation. And so now this is just a one-on-one conversation. You can see when I open it up, uh, pardon, pardon me. So when we open it up, John Adams' avatar now jumps to the bottom to track where he has read his message. And if we exit out of this chat, so that he's again not here, not actively in the chat, we say, it's doozy, which I don't know if you caught the Jays game tonight, but my gosh, what a game! If you're a Jays fan. And you can see, okay, so now the line gets pushed up because he hasn't read this most recent message. All right, so I also have this again on my device here. We have the message persistence, which you saw last week, in addition to network, disconnect functionality. So I'm going to send a message here to George, and actually I'm going to use the AI assistant again. Tell George uh, to meet me outside, and send this along. I'll see if I can give you some kind of a look at it here. All right, so we've just passed this to the AI assistant. We should get our clarification next. And indeed, we're going to send this along to George Washington. And over here on George on the left, we get a success message on the phone here. Here we are, meet me outside. Okay, so we've got our first message here. Oh, there you go. See, that's that duplicate that we sometimes get. All right, so now I'm going to go into airplane mode on the phone. You're actually not able to do this on the simulator, so I have to do this from the phone. We are now in airplane mode. We have a no connection banner at the top here, but we still have access to our message area, and so we're going to send a couple messages. Hey, let's see. No, we're talking to George. Hey, Georgie, my boy. Send. And we're going to see we don't get anything. So you can see it's here on the updated at the bottom here. No read receipt because of course he has not seen it yet. We also haven't seen it over here on George. Now I'm going to just kind of jump back into the network, and there we have on the left, here it comes through. and we get the read receipt update line at the bottom there as well. Okay, so let's see. I think that's most. Oh, the calendar, of course. So the calendar feature is another feature that's a big one for this persona, allowing them to schedule different kinds of events. So we're going to ask George, do you want to get pizza tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Savona's? That is a local pizza spot here in Kingston. And we should, let's see, that should be enough to trigger it. Sometimes we get a little bit, yeah, it's a little finicky. We have calendar detection in here, but again, like we're still working on this tool set, and that one, surprisingly, let's see. Let me try this one more time with something maybe more specific. Hey, George. Do you want to play tennis tomorrow at 3 p.m. at the park? Let's see if that one's good enough to get it going. Hey, no, again, not for whatever reason that one's not coming through. I wonder if I have one in my history here somewhere. Or potentially we might have to do it through the AI assistant. All right, we're gonna go back to John over here, see what we get. Ask George if he'd like to get dinner tomorrow at 3 p.m. at McDonald's. All right, so now we should get a clarification here. And actually, this will be another good chance to see what's happening. We should see George Washington now jump above the other ones. Yeah, 95% match. So this now has context, the fact that we have a conversation going with George. And so it recognizes that. And so now he is boosted as the top match. Eventually, they only have 3 messages so far. Eventually, if this was the George that you were talking to regularly, that discrepancy would be high enough that it would auto select that George based off the fact that you had a recent conversation with him and the context of that conversation. So we're going to select George here. Okay, that should come through from John. We just got the message success on the right. And so if we come in here, there we are. Okay, so again, sometimes you never know when it's gonna do it right now. So here we have again this double message bug, but we get this calendar proposal where the user can confirm or dismiss, and then that will end up going into a calendar tab, which we're going to try to integrate with GCal and iCal using the N8N service. I don't know if we're going to actually make it that far, but at the very least, we're going to have a dedicated calendar tab where we're going to actually work with at least the calendar events that we know about in our database, if not external. We'll see how far we can get by tomorrow evening. Well, thank you for checking this out. I think that's most of it, and have a good one. Bye-bye.